Hey guys, what is up? Yes, another video! Da 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 da. Wait. I just sing it. Yeah. You know why I have to sing? I told this guys not to ever make me sing again. And I have to. Because fluting held me against my will. You know, just like held me like held me against my will to sing. So I'm sorry. But anyway, today's video is gonna be continue on from the last one, talking about climatic points, and today we're just gonna talk about how to be able to get those high notes out better, so when you hit them, it doesn't sound like a squeal ball or something that you never wish happened or something. Anyway, here we go. So, let's see here. Oh yeah, high notes. Okay, so with high notes, let me just start with the basics because some of you might have never played the flute ever in your life before. And if that's the case, let's just start there and then work our way up. So, if you've never, well, hopefully you played a little bit of the flute anyway. But anyway, this could apply for anybody. If you've never or have a hard time or ever play high notes or have a hard time getting high notes out, let's just do a couple practice things. One thing you can do is to spit rice. Now, I will admit I don't have any rice in here, but I do want to give a demonstration of something. So let me see if I can find something here that will happily demonstrate what rice does. Alright, representing the rice spitting practice. Macaroni and cheese. It must be a new technique. Yeah, I invented it. So anyway, when you want to practice, spitting rice, you want to envision you playing the flute or practicing it into the flute. Now, don't spit rice into your flute, but yeah, don't do that. Just envision you kind of blowing into the flute, and first go pew. Try to get that focus, and then do like a do, or you could have the. I'd probably practice it with your tongue at the top of your mouth, between your teeth and your the top of your mouth there, the top of your teeth and the top of your mouth. Do pew do when you switch to do. And so anyway, here's the demonstration, a new technique with macaroni. And you want to kind of practice focusing that down. So you can. Okay, that was embarrassing. So let's just delete that scene. But anyway, it really does help. But once you do that a few times, just pick up your flute, whatcha, and practice. I'd go pew first, especially if you have a hard time getting your notes. Let's do that a few times. Let's do it on a high F. So it should pop right out, and kind of like if you're blowing like straight across, especially maybe some newer flutists, it would be like. But focus that air down. I'm not practicing vibrato exercises, by the way. And then go do with the top of your mouth, and work on focusing that sound. And think like the belly button. And so, as you get that sound, you could probably start practicing octaves and stuff like that, which will help your embouchure change in those climatic points. And you can A rat representing the rat spitting practice. Macaroni and cheese. It must be a new technique. Yeah, I invented it. So anyway, when you want to practice, spitting rice, you want to envision you playing the flute or practicing it into the flute. Now, don't spit rice into your flute, but yeah, don't do that. Just envision you kind of blowing into the flute, and first go pew. Try to get that focus, and then do like a do, or you could have the. I'd probably practice it with your tongue at the top of your mouth, between your teeth and your the top of your mouth there, the top of your teeth and the top of your mouth. Do pew 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 do when you switch to do. And so anyway, here's the demonstration, a new technique with macaroni. And you want to kind of practice focusing that down. So you can. Okay, that was embarrassing. So let's just delete that scene. But anyway, it really does help. But once you do that a few times, just pick up your flute, whatcha, and practice. I'd go pew first, especially if you have a hard time getting your notes. Let's do that a few times. Let's do it on a high F. So it should pop right out, and kind of like if you're blowing like straight across, especially maybe some newer flutists, it would be like. But focus that air down. I'm not practicing vibrato exercises, by the way. And then go do with the top of your mouth, and work on focusing that sound. And think like the belly button. And so, as you get that sound, you could probably start practicing octaves and stuff like that, which will help your embouchure change in those climatic points. And you can do arpeggios and stuff like that, which will also help. But today's purpose, I'm just going to do those high octave changes, because if you can do that, then you're pretty much like, if you can do that up and down a scale, then you're able to do those octave changes, because sometimes those are the hardest spots. If you have to start on a really low note and jump up like 2 or 3 octaves, so like, you're going to want to be able to make those changes. It's actually not too hard. Some people make it way too hard, and it doesn't come out right. So let's go ahead. Let's start on the low F, and I want to do 3 octaves. Let's go ahead and do that. And I want to let you guys know what I'm thinking. So I think ah on the low note, ooh, and then E on the 3rd octave. So ah, ooh, E. So on each one. That's what I think. And on those high notes, just kind of sound, put the air kind of through the roof of your head there. And the lower notes, think kind of lower, mentally. And so I want to do another thing that'll help your high notes come out easier, better, and more in sync with each other, and it's called overtones. You can play overtones, are really good for your flute. It helps sync your high notes on your flute. They're also good for octave jumping, being able to change your embouchure, so it's a really good embouchure. You can do different things to help your embouchure. And specifically, we're doing like these jumps, and so I'm going to focus on exercise that will help not only help you to sync your flute, your high notes on your flute, but also help your embouchure at the same time. Okay, so for those of you that don't know what overtones are, they're basically overblown notes, harmonics that you get on overblowing the low notes on the flute. And so let me give some examples. So let's start on low F, yeah, and just overblow. I went too high, but that third one was right on. So, what I think for the harmonics, I think, you know, as a ah, e, oo. So I think ha, ah. I do like a dot or a ta on those harmonics, and they pop right out. So if you just want to try to get the harmonics in itself, that's what I do, da or ta. It'll help pop those out. And let's go up the scale here on G. So now on the B flat, there is a trick I want to show you, because if you getting this one's a little bit tricky. So if I try to get it right off the bat, it's a little bit hard. Let's see if I can do it. So you see, like, it cracks a lot and stuff like that, and it's kind of hard to get. And so you can go ahead and try that real quick. But the trick is on this one is you don't put this key down. And so if you want to sync that note, it's kind of a made up fingering. Definitely wouldn't try playing a B flat this way, or a B flat this way. But you get the first finger, and then not this key, but the key above it. You just hold it down. And let's do the overtone exercise for that. And it came right out, and it didn't crack. And so it took some more air to try to get it like over, so it helps lock in that overtone and makes it a whole lot easier, because that's probably one of the hardest ones to do on the flute without it like cracking and going overboard. Alright guys, let's go ahead and play a tune here. Now I do want to give you a little note here on the overtones, and you know, especially when you're doing some of these exercises that people are doing. Now for example, what we just did, I know some people when they do them, after they do them, sometimes like they feel like it's harder. But it's not really that, it's that sometimes the pads on your flute aren't really adjusted. Like I said, it's not really, your flute's not really in sync or anything, like with your pads and stuff like that. So if you ever do like weird exercises like this, don't be like alarmed if like right after you try to do something and it doesn't really like sound kind of. So just play some scales and stuff like that, and it'll adjust back, and then go back and you know, to what you were doing, but don't be like alarmed and be like, oh, that actually like made it worse, because that is totally would be a false statement. But that is, you know, a troubleshooting thing that a lot of flutists have. So let's go ahead and play something.